Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're here to talk about Metro Exodus, which came out the other day. I did go ahead and grab that. If you hadn't seen my live stream from the other night, feel free to check that out. I'm making this video because last night I was looking up on YouTube on how to get the best optimized settings for this game, and I ran across a video by Joker Productions. Very good video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But he's basically describing how graphically intensive the game is. Um, in regard to his RTX 2080 Ti. So he was running a bunch of benchmarks based upon 1080p at extreme settings. A lot of people in the comments were upset saying, you need a 2080 Ti to run this game, and why there's no graphic settings, individual graphic settings like there are in a lot of other AAA title games. Metro has always had that, one setting in the game that really improve performance or decrease performance. So I'm here to show you that you don't need an RTX 2080 Ti to run Metro Exodus. I currently use a GTX 1080. I run the game on Ultra at 60 just fine. There is, my temperature in my card stays good. The frame rate doesn't drop unless it's in pretty intensive areas. So let's get into that. Let me show you how I have my stuff set up. So I'm currently using a Aurora R8. Yeah, I know it's an Alienware computer. I'm getting ready to swap out the case and everything else. I'm just waiting for the funds to do that. But in the meantime, this is what I got. So I do use MSI Afterburner. So let's take a look at that. I'm not going to go through how to set all this up because there's plenty of videos on how to do that already. I am running the card undervolted. And I'm going to switch to my profile number 2 and select that. So you can see I have it running at 1000 millivolts. This will change. Sometimes it takes a while for some reason. Got to be something with MSI Afterburner, but whatever. If you go into my fan curve, I have an aggressive fan curve set up, so I like my fan to kick on at 80% once it hits 60 degrees Celsius. Normally it doesn't go past 65, but in rare occasions it might, in which case why I have it set so high as the higher temperature increases. So I'll show you my case fan setup as well, so you can see that too. I do have a custom overclock on here. This computer ships with, overclock to 4.6. I have it set to 4.9 gigahertz on the i7 9700K, and I run it with no problems on every game. Let's take a look at the thermals. So you see the top fan, I have it set to a fixed rate of 30%. The front fan is set to 50%. Now I did change this front fan, so it's not the same front fan that came with the Aurora R8, because honestly that fan, if it's at 50%, it sounds like you have an airplane in whatever room you have your computer in. So I couldn't have that, so I changed it to a Corsair fan. So now that we're out of that, let's minimize this and let's go into the game. So now as you can see, if you look at the top right of your screen, you will see that it's at 60 frames. Obviously the game's not doing anything right now. So let's go to options and let's go to video. So I use a 1440p G-Sync monitor. So I'm going to have it set up for 1440p obviously. Quality, again, I have it set on Ultra. V-Sync, I keep it at full. Even though I have G-Sync, I put V-Sync on too. It kind of just seems to help in some areas. Motion blur, I have it on low. If I could turn it off, I would turn it off. DirectX 12. Hairworks, I have it on. If you turn this off, does it improve performance a little bit? Yes, in some areas, but honestly, the visual hit the game takes when it comes to dealing with the monsters and seeing just the overall scenery on animals, it's not worth it to me. So I keep it on. Advanced physics, I keep that on. There's really not that big of a hit leaving this on or off. Tessellation, there is a huge hit with keeping this on or off, depending on no matter what card you use. So if you keep this on, the textures in the game are going to look better. My advice is keep it on. If you want to turn it off, you can turn it off if you're running a lower end card, but anything, a GTX 1070, GTX 1080, 1080 Ti, so on and so forth, it should be able to run with tessellation on, no problem. Texture filtering, I have it at 16. This is the setting that you guys want to pay close attention to. So I keep it at 0.5 to 0.6. If you raise it to 1, which I'll show you what that looks like right now, you'll notice that performance is going to take a beating. Anything past 1 is just ridiculous on anything that's, unless you're running a 2080 Ti, I would keep this between 1 and 0.5, but I'll show you what it looks like at 1. So we're going to go ahead and apply that. Now notice, even in this loading screen, the percentage of my GPU being used right now is between 95 and 98%, just in this loading screen, which is crazy. So let's load up the game, open up the world, and you're looking around. Spoiler alert, I don't know if you guys are here yet, but this is a pretty open area. Pay very close attention to the upper right hand corner of the screen and look at my GPU usage. As I get to a more dense area, it's not so bad around areas that's a little open, but look at my GPU usage percentage. If I come over here, as I start to get to the more shadow areas, my GPU usage is going up, my frame rate is going down. You start looking at the water, things that change, the game's getting a little choppy. Now, if I take that and I'm going to lower it to 0.5, or 0.6 is where I had it. Frame rate instantly goes back up to 60. GPU usage drops by a considerable amount. Temperature is also going to either stay where it's at, may increase a little bit, but notice how much smoother the game's running. I currently don't have any ammo in this gun right now, so in case I get into some stuff, I might want to get a shotgun. So as you can see, the frame rate's going to drop by, maybe 1 FPS in an open area. It's not that bad. Now, for some reason it takes huge hits in certain circumstances, and that's no matter where you have that setting at. But as I keep running around here, again, my GPU usage is pretty good. It's really not that big of an issue. I was hoping to maybe bump into 1 or 2 stupid little guys that got nothing else better to do. But sometimes they're wandering around, other times they're not. Oh yeah, look. So again, it's not a lot going on the screen, but you can clearly see that my frame rate's staying at 60. When the scene first kicks off, you're going to see that no matter what, seamless, for some reason, maybe they'll put a patch through, but it does pop up. Jesus, that's the first time I ran into his ass. Oh, buddy. What are you doing? I should probably run now. I haven't gotten attacked by that particular monster yet. Apparently he's pissed off. So I should probably, I'm gonna hang out here for a minute. So yeah, guys, as you can see, you can run the game at Ultra with a 1080, GTX 1080. You don't need a RTX 2080 Ti. Performance is just fine. As you can see, my processor usage is minimal. My temperature is staying good. My core clock is not dropping considerably. And if you like this video, definitely like and subscribe. Show some love. I just wanted to put a video out there showing everybody that you can have a GTX 1080 or a GTX 1070 and run the game just fine with no issue. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll try to get to everybody as soon as possible. I am off today, but when I go back to work, it's kind of hard for me to get to the comments, but I'll try my best. Again, like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, let me know. Peace out.